What's up? What's up, boxing world? And welcome to another edition of Fantasy Bout Hour, the channel dedicated to bringing you fantasy matchups on a regular basis. If there's a particular matchup that you want me to cover, please leave it in the comment section, and I promise to honor your request. Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the bell notification. The fight that I'll be bringing to you in this video comes by way of request, and it is coming from Terrell C. I thank you for yet another matchup. And I'm surprised at myself for not covering this fight already, because it's such an intriguing fight. But better late than never, I guess. So let's get started. The fight that he mentioned is Felix Trinidad versus Jermaine Bad Intentions Taylor. And I'm thinking this fight takes place at middleweight, with Tito going up in weight. So let's talk about Jermaine Taylor for a second. Very talented fighter. I believe that he was an elite fighter, or at least had elite abilities and elite talent. Had a great jab. He had a great 1-2 punch combination. He had power. He had quick hands, good footwork. But where Jermaine Taylor got into trouble is in the late rounds. He didn't seem to have stamina for the later rounds. He didn't seem to have focus for the later rounds. He just didn't show up for the later rounds for some reason. And that's where he lost all of his fights, in those later rounds. Of course, going up against Felix Trinidad, he would have the size advantage. He would have the power advantage. And to be honest, he's a better fighter than Trinidad overall. He has more skills than Trinidad overall. Now let's get to Felix Trinidad. Very tough fighter. He has a stacked resume. He's fought the likes of Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker, Oscar Golden Boy De La Hoya. He's just fought everybody that's anybody. Very tough fighter. His losses didn't come until later in his career, at a weight he really didn't belong at, if I'm being honest. But Felix Trinidad was a beast in those later rounds. He was most vulnerable in those early rounds, and he took a lot of knockdowns over the course of his career. But that didn't stop him. That never slowed his momentum in a fight. But Tito was dangerous in those later rounds. He showed up in those later rounds. He got stronger in those later rounds, and he gained more confidence in those later rounds. So this is where Jermaine Taylor runs into trouble. Because Jermaine Taylor, like I said before, he didn't show up in those later rounds. And that's when you really have to show up. If you're fighting Felix Trinidad, you better be ready to fight for 12 rounds. And you better show up for all 12 rounds. And that's what Bernard Hopkins did. That's what Ronald Winky Wright did. And that's what Roy Jones Jr. did. So Jermaine Taylor has the style and he has the skills to beat Felix Trinidad. But he doesn't have the heart, he doesn't have the stamina, and he doesn't have the concentration. So I have to go with Felix Trinidad by late stoppage. Let me know what you think, and I will see you on the next video.